Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
It's a beautiful, steamy day here in Nassau. But I just wanted to welcome all the folks here, friends of the Rensselaer Land Trust, friends of the Albany-Hudson Electric Trail, friends of the Empire Trail, people who just like to get outdoors and do things. My name is Bob Crowley. I'm the president of the Rensselaer Land Trust. Our office is in Troy. This is one of a number of properties that the Land Trust owns and maintains around Rensselaer County in our broader effort of land conservation. Tom Phillips is our vice president. He's going to speak to you a little bit about the day-to-day work we do here on the trail. And Andy Beers is with New York State. He's the man who really made this whole thing happen. He's the fellow who helped us participate in bringing this project to fruition. So our objective here today is just to get to know people who are using the trail. Tom's going to talk a little bit about our day-to-day responsibilities here, and then Andy can give us a little bit of the history. So, Tom?
So I'm the chairman of a volunteer committee that has signed a maintenance agreement with Andy's group, the Hudson Valley Greenway. The Greenway was very generous in purchasing us a large mower, which hopefully Julie will show you a little video clip of later. And we are an all-volunteer committee, so we're always looking for people that are interested in joining us. Our responsibility is to mow the edges of the trail, to keep shrubbery and things from covering the trail, producing hazards in the trail. If trees or branches are falling in the trail, our responsibility is to remove them. Anything that's up in the cabling where it would be hazardous with the power lines is National Grid's problem. But if people see things like that, they can certainly contact me, and then I can make sure that the proper people know who need to take care of it. We also are going to be doing weed trimming around the signs, the fences, and we're looking for volunteers. We have a few people to ride the mower, but we'd always enjoy having a few more. It can be very intimidating for people to drive that, but we're also going to need people that would do weed whipping for us. And then, depending on what the trail looks like, once to twice a year, we'll also be doing cleanup. So we'll be picking up litter and trash and things like that. I'd like to thank the Greenway for partnering with us and allowing us to do that. As Bob said, part of the mission of the Land Trust is land conservation, but nested in that is also we want to try to promote outdoor activities. And this trail is kind of, I look at it as a variation on many of the trails that we have in our preserves. It's not classic in the sense that it's not in a very wooded preserve. I'm fortunate that I live in East Schodack and my house is right on the trail, and I see now lots of people biking, running, walking, skateboarding, but what I particularly like to see is families with young children using the trail. It's a very safe place for young kids to learn to ride their bikes, and now that it's summer, I'm really looking forward again to the street chalk coming out and the hopscotch being written back on it and all of the artwork. So I think it's been really embraced, and I think it's a real addition, a positive addition to the community, and I'm glad to see so many people using it.
And you can see how enthusiastic Tom is here. He's got a lot to say about this project.
And I'm also modeling. If you join the crew, you'll get the now fashion-forward Rensselaer Land Trust Empire Trail vest. This is soon to be a hot commodity, so sign up soon. Thank you very much.
I want to know
if you need more, I got a dozen of them in the truck.
$5 million if we join it.
Wow. Okay, we'll work on that. Andy?
Well, thank you all for coming out today.
We need to get a little...
This trail has a long history. It starts in 1899, right, when an electric trolley opened, which ran 36 miles from the city of Hudson, which is about 25 miles north of here, over across into the city of Albany. That trolley shaped the communities that developed along here. Nassau Lake was developed during that period into a kind of tourist stop on the trolley line. but there were also small businesses and farmers along here. There was a big milk processing building just across the street, and its milk products were moved in and out on the line as well. The trolley was extremely successful. In 1915, which was kind of the peak of the use of it, there were 1.4 million annual riders on the trolley, to give you a sense of how, and if you think about it, this trolley could get to speeds of 50, 55 miles an hour. And prior to that, the only way to get around this part of Rensselaer County, you were either riding a horse or getting pulled by a horse, and maybe going 4 or 5 miles an hour. So imagine people their whole life had never gone faster than 4 or 5 miles an hour on a horse, and they get on this piece of equipment, it goes 55 miles an hour. It was just life-changing for people in that period. And it was also powered from sustainable electricity generated at a hydro plant in Stuyvesant Falls in Columbia County, ahead of its day. The trolley was great until the truck, the automobile, bus systems came in, and the trolley did cease running in 1929, and it lay essentially vacant and abandoned, the trolley line, for 90 years. That's when advocacy comes in. People start to dream big about what this asset could be repurposed of, and certainly, like is often the case, there was individual residents, nonprofit groups, local officials who began to advocate for this. The Rensselaer Land Trust was a leader in that all the way to Christina's time, and advocating for the development of this trail. And then 10 years ago, the Greenway gave a small grant to the towns here, Nassau, Schodack, East Greenbush, who did a feasibility plan and said, yeah, this could become a trail. But the big stumbling block, as always, is money, right? This is expensive, and it was beyond the capability of the communities. In 2017, Governor Andrew Cuomo announces the Empire State Trail, a 750-mile project, of which this is part, and that provided the funding mechanism to build this trail. The governor included $200 million in his budget, which was approved by the legislature in 2017. And from 2017 to 2020 and to 2020, during that period, our organization worked with a lot of organizations to plan, permit, design, and construct this trail. This trail is, it is kind of the ultimate example of public-private partnerships. We are very engaged with local communities along the route. There are 8 towns, 3 villages, 2 cities, 2 counties involved. All of them we work with closely on their sections of the trail. And then we work very closely with partners, including the Rensselaer Land Trust, to help us get the word out, to convince the public of the importance of this trail, to answer any concerns, particularly from adjacent landowners, and ultimately to move through construction and completion last December. The other piece of this was maintenance. So building a trail is terrific. This is a durable trail. It doesn't need a lot of maintenance, but the grass has to be mowed, weed whacking around fences. If a tree or a limb falls on the trail, there's not a lot of litter. People are very respectful of these trails, but there is stuff that appears occasionally. We needed partners. The Greenway doesn't have the capability to get in and do that day in and day out management. And so we have municipalities and nonprofits, including the Rensselaer Land Trust, stepping up to the plate and partnering with us and really making this a great asset, a world-class asset. So I can't say enough about how thankful I am to the Rensselaer Land Trust for being our partner in maintaining this trail and creating an asset that's a benefit to this community, it's a benefit to the state, and it's frankly going to bring tourists and visitors from around the state, the country, and the world here to ride this section of the Empire State Trail. In closing, this trail, 36 miles, is part of the Empire State Trail. You get on your bike here, pedal that direction for 200 miles, and you get to the Battery at the tip of Manhattan, looking out over the Statue of Liberty and the World Trade Center Memorial Site and the Freedom Tower right behind you. Or you can go that direction. You can pedal, it's about 10 miles or so to Rensselaer and then across to Albany. Then you ride another 10 miles up to Green Island, and you have a choice there. You continue another 200 miles in that direction through the Champlain Valley to Canada, or take a left turn, and from there it's 350 miles to Buffalo. So this trail, I am just seeing on our Empire State Trail website a lot of emails coming in from people in New York, other parts of the country, from Britain and Germany. I want to plan a trip. How does this work? You're going to start to see more and more of, particularly as we're moving past pandemic issues, more and more people coming from around the country to enjoy, and the world, to enjoy this trail. in closing, so I can see some of you, that's interesting. I can ride 200 miles to New York City, or I go that direction, 360 miles Buffalo, or up to Rouse's Point, Canada. But you may not see yourself riding that far. That may seem a little daunting. The good news is you have all summer to get in shape. Fall, September would be a beautiful time to do that trip. So I see a lot of bikes, people in bike gear. Keep pedaling, get yourself in shape, and perhaps this fall we'll meet here and then we'll go into 3 groups: New York City, Canada, and Buffalo. So again, thank you to the Rensselaer Land Trust. It's a great partnership.
Well, thank you, Andy. Thank you, Tom, and thank all you folks and supporters of our Rensselaer Land Trust and the trail here. So enjoy. Have a wonderful day.